Hey guys, welcome to Insights with Anastasia. Today I'm going to help you build your portfolio project with a beginner-friendly data analysis that you can do in Excel. Imagine you are working for the big e-commerce company and they want to understand what landing page performs better. For this data analysis, you will have data from Google Analytics 4. This is website data. And exploring this data, you will need to answer these questions. By the end of this project, you will learn how to use a website analytics data, how to do data analysis in Excel using pivot tables, how to explore data, define your scope of work, and how to make actionable insights, how to explain your recommendations to the business. Let's get into it. Okay, let's look at the data. The first column is your date. The second column is your landing page column, basically two options, landing page 1 and landing page 2. Third is your data source. It's basically in Google Analytics 4, there's like a session source and medium, which helps you understand where this data coming from. It can be organic, it can be paid. There's like a multiple data sources. If you don't familiar with those sources and you don't really know what those means, please don't worry. I will explain a little bit more later on. But for now, you just need to understand that this is basically the source of the traffic coming to the website. And column D, it's session. This is basically count of session. This is a numeric value here and shows how many sessions there were on this landing page from a specific channel on a specific day. And then we have average session duration. Average session duration shows how much time users spent on a page. And then engagement rate. Engagement rate is basically new metric that Google Analytics 4 come up with, and it shows what is the percentage of users who were engaged on a page. So if you remember, in the previous version of Google Analytics, there was a metric called bounce rate, and the bounce rate basically showed what is percentage of people who bounce from the website after landing on it. So when we work with the bounce rate, we wanted to make sure the bounce rate smaller, and for engagement rate, we wanted to be the as big as it can be. So if you see like 100% engagement rate, means that all of the users who landed on the site, they engaged with it somehow, and this is a show our great engagement, and this is what we want. So all right, I already did some cleaning here and I transformed the data, so I'm not gonna focus on it now. If you want to know how to clean and transform data, I will link my video how to clean data for beginners, and you can watch it and come back to this later. Let's start exploring our data. As I already said, we looked at the columns, we define what we know what they mean. Let's create a new tab here, new sheet. Let's call it data exploration. So what I usually do when I start my project, I just want to know overall how data looks like. So for that, pivot table is going to look great. We select our data range, scroll down, there's like a lot of data down there. And what I want to know, what are the top sources of the traffic. So for this, we will select session source and medium as rows, and we will select sessions, sum of session as values, and average session duration. Please keep in mind, when you select when you drag and drop here, it by default calculates the sum. But for every session duration, we don't need sum, and that's why we go to the value field settings and we change it to average, because we want average be average. And for engagement rate, it's also going to give us sum of engagement rate, which completely not what we want, and we want again average. Okay, that looks good. So let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see here we have different sources. You can you can rename your columns. For example, here you can name it number of sessions, but it's up to you. Average session duration and average engagement time. So I want to know what is the top session sources, and for that I'm going to work with this column that I just remained called number of sessions, and I will sort by this. And it's gonna, okay, let me select the table, data, sort descending. Oh, sorry. Okay, I see. We need to choose custom source, and we need to choose our number of sessions from largest to smallest. And now we got what we wanted. So I'm looking at the number of sessions. So definitely we see here top 3, top 4. But also I would love to understand what is percentage of total session this 3, 4 data sources give us. So what I do, I can do the same number of sessions and I'll drag and drop it here, but instead of sum of session, I will do percentage of grand total. And okay. And now we had a really nice calculated percentage of grand total. So when I work with website data, I don't like to look at the sources that are below 5% of total traffic. But again, it always depends on your business goals, on your objectives. You can maybe select more than that. For example, there's an interesting thing called green QR. I don't know what that means, but probably some QR code in some magazines, and people can screen a QR code and land on a page. So this is also can be something you want to explore, but again, depends on your business goal. And for our goal, the purpose of our analysis, I will select this for data sources. And as you can see, they have different average session duration and they have different average engagement rate. So now, since we know already that we're going to work with these 4 channels, we know our scope. Next step is to define what metrics we should use to identify best and worst performing landing page. So basically, sum of session just shows the number of session for each channel. And also we have average session duration here, and we have average engagement time. So what metrics should we use to identify the best performing landing page? So again, this is not simple answer, and it depends on your business goal. But how I would approach this, since I'm looking for the best performing landing page, I want our users stay on the page as long as they can, and the more important than just staying on the page, because sometimes they can stay on the page but they maybe went to grab some water, or maybe they don't looking at the screen already. What I want to focus on, I want to see high engagement rate. And engagement rate in Google Analytics 4 shows the percentage of users who were actually engaged with the site. So in this case, average session duration or engagement rate, I will go with the engagement rate metric, because for me it makes more sense than average session duration. So okay, now that we know what we're going to work with, we can start our analysis. Okay, we can do this, and we can basically start with the pivot table again. We select the same data range, and now we want to have our landing page as a row, and we also want to have our source and medium. Well, actually, what we want to do, we want to have our source and medium first. In this case, we will have your landing page 1 and landing page 2 close to each other. Let me make it a little bit bigger. We already know our top channels, so for now we can bring the session number here, but also what we already defined, we're going to use engagement rate as our primary metric to identify best performing landing page. So again, we change the sum of engagement rate to average here. And now, since we know we chose Google Organic, Direct None, Bing CPC, and email as our channels that we're going to focus on, we define our scope, because we don't want to really focus on channels that drive less than 5% of traffic. And that's why we're going to come here and select those channels. So we unselect all, and we will select Direct None, Bing CPC, Bing Organic, what was else? I think it was email, right? Let's see, email, go back and check. Google Organic. So instead of Bing Organic, it's going to be Google Organic. Okay. And we select Google Organic. You can type, actually, we can scroll, whatever works for you. Okay, now let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see now. So here we have our channels. Do you need a total? No, we don't really need a total. We do not show subtotals. We can remove this. And we don't really need grand total, so we can remove it as well. So now we have our Direct None, Bing CPC, email, and Google Organic sources. So basically, for those who are interested what those means, Direct None basically means that it's either somebody typed in the website and landed directly on the page without like clicking somewhere. For example, you know the website name, you type it in, and you just click there. Bing CPC is cost per click, which means this is a paid search on Bing. This is paid traffic. Emails, probably some email sent to customers or users. So usually when you see email, it's probably your returning customers, the customers that already purchased something from you or already engaged with your website and left their email there. So when I look at email engagement, it's usually much higher than for other type of channels, sources. And then Google Organic, this is like organic search on Google, when they just type in Google search for something and they find your website. So you see that there is like a big difference between landing page 1 and landing page 2 number of sessions. For the purpose of this analysis, let's imagine that is significant enough. The second page had enough sessions for us to make a decision. But usually when I see this big difference, I don't want to make a decision and say that landing page 2, since it has higher engagement rate of 52, you should kind of prioritize it versus the landing page 1. Because when you have a lot of traffic on one page and you have a little bit of traffic on the second page, this is not comparable results, and I would wait a little bit longer to make a decision. So for example, for this, in this case, I could say, hey guys, can we just wait a little bit longer and to run this test maybe a couple of weeks more, because I need more data to make a decision. That's totally okay to say that, and I did it my previous experience. I did that in my previous experience a lot when I don't have enough data to make a decision, or to give data for other people to make a decision. And it's okay to say you need more data. But let's say you had enough data and this is something you want to make this, you want to do some recommendations on. So in this case, landing page 2 had higher engagement rate, and you can say, hey guys, this is landing page 2 driving higher engagement rate. But again, in this case, this is the direct traffic coming to the page. You cannot control it. People who are landing on page 1, they do not click anywhere. They just type in the address of the page. So this, you can't really do much about it. So I would just leave it as it is. So maybe you can recommend switching to a new page, or you can recommend changing landing page and add some of the feature of page 2 to improve performance. Next is Bing CPC, and this is interesting because we have here like same engagement rate, so we can recommend either of those pages. Now when we go to email, we definitely see some difference in favor of page 1. Page 1 has higher engagement rate, and in this case we can make recommendation and say so for your email channel we should prioritize landing page 1 because it generates higher engagement rate, and higher engagement rate usually means higher sales or higher interest to your content that you that you are showing on your website. So in this case, you can recommend using landing page 1 based on higher engagement rate performance. And for last one, Google Organic, you see that there is like a slight difference in favor of landing page 2. What you can do, you can just again use the maybe features or elements of page 2 for the page 1, and it might increase your average engagement rate. Okay, so basically based on this analysis, you can give 2 types of actionable recommendations for your marketing team. First recommendation, when it comes to email channel, you should prioritize sending your traffic to the landing page 1 because it has higher engagement rate. And for direct traffic and Google Organic traffic, you can recommend prioritize landing page 2 or use elements and features of page 2 to kind of improve landing page 1, because sometimes people have something like they save their link to the page and they land on it. So you need to keep your link page 1 accessible for your users, but you need to improve it based on the results you got from landing page 2. I hope that makes sense, and please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. And again, if you want to follow along, if you want to use this data set and create your own portfolio, your own project, you can find the data set in the comments below. I'll link the source here. Okay guys, thank you. Bye.